guys, welcome back to The Missing. I'm Ariane. If you're new, I want to thank you for joining us today. The Missing is a channel dedicated to my Uncle Mark, who went missing in 2001. And I started this channel in hopes of helping others find their missing loved ones. We post videos every Sunday. Sometimes I'll do it twice a week if I have a chance. But right now I'm aiming for every Sunday. So if you're returning, thank you for returning and being a part of this journey and hopefully being a crusader to help find missing loved ones. And if you're new, make sure and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. That way you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. So as I told you guys, life was a little crazy, so I wasn't around for a little while, but things are getting back to normal and we're back on our Sunday schedule. And with the support of all of you, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being supportive, and thank you for being a crusader. Today's video is going to be about a 3-year-old little boy named William Ebenezer Jones Jr. William was 3 years old when he disappeared right outside his home in New Jersey. This happened on back in 1962, so he's been gone a while, and they are still very much trying to find him. On December 17th of 1962, little William Ebenezer Jones Jr. and his sister Jill were sent outside to go and play. Now, in this time, this day and age, people sent their kids outside to play. It was not a big deal. Their mom, Evelyn, was inside the house and she was making lunch for her youngest son, so she let the two other ones, William 3 and Jill 2, go outside and play. And she said that periodically she was looking out the window, she was checking on the kids, she made sure they were okay. It was cold in New Jersey on this day, so they were sent out in their snowsuits. And they played and they went outside with the two dogs. And I'm sure sending the kids outside with the two family dogs would make any parent feel a little safer, right? They have the dogs, they're together, I can peek out, I can see you, we're good. And back then, people let their kids go outside unsupervised and they would just kind of watch from the window. And that's what Evelyn was doing this day. Evelyn is mom, Jill is sister, and William is our missing person. So around 11:45 a.m., a neighbor of William's sees William and he's not with Jill, and she tells him, because he's wandered a little far from home, hey, you need to get home. You need to go back to your house. So the neighbor, that's it. She tells him, and I'm sure she thought, he's little, he'll, go back to his house. Unfortunately, that's not the case. At 1 p.m. in the afternoon, after the kids had been outside playing for all these hours, little Jill knocks on the door, and her mom opens the door, and she finds Jill at the door with a little plastic potted poinsettia plant. Or flower, I should say. It wasn't a plant, it was a flower. It was a little plastic potted flower. And the mom is like, where did you get that flower? And Jill tells her mom that William gave her the flower and that the boogeyman had taken William. I don't know about anybody else, but if my child comes and tells me the boogeyman took another child of mine, I'm going to lose my shit, which is probably what Miss Evelyn did. So 11:45, the neighbor sees William. He's fine, but he's not with Jill. 1 o'clock, Jill shows up at the house. No William, only a plastic potted poinsettia. Mom said the kids went out in the morning. Well, I guess it was probably late morning, early afternoon, because she said she was inside making lunch for her youngest child. So they were outside for a couple hours with the two dogs. Now, one family dog did come in with Jill, from what I understand. The other family dog, however, was also missing along with William. Now, it was unclear to me whether or not little Jill said that the other dog was taken by the boogeyman as well, but her statement, and mind you, she's 2 years old, says the boogeyman took William. So the mom freaks, as any mother would do, and she starts roaming around the neighborhood. She's like searching for her kid, looking for him. Now, here's the odd part to me. Mom's freaking out. She's searching all over for William, trying to find him. And a man in a green car pulls up and's like, "Hey, are you Miss Jones?" Now, if I'm searching for my child and I'm frantically looking and some stranger pulls up to me and asks me if I'm Miss Jones, I'm thinking I'm probably going to turn this person and be like, "Yes, I am. Why? Have you seen my son? He's a little boy," whatever. But Evelyn, the mom, states that because she didn't know the man, she didn't respond to him when he asked her. She just keeps looking for William. So the man takes off. Maybe he was a ransom. Maybe he was trying to tell her, like, "Hey, we have your kid." Maybe he witnessed William be taken and he was like, "Hey, Miss Jones? I saw your kid." But no, mom doesn't respond. Man in green car takes off. Everybody starts searching. Nobody can find him, so she proceeds to call the police, obviously. So the police join in this search, and it's not just the police. I mean, everybody's looking for this 3-year-old little boy, right? So the firefighters, National Guard, helicopters, everybody's searching everywhere for William. They kind of start focusing in on this plastic potted flower because this is what Jill's found with. So they're thinking, maybe this is a clue. Maybe there's something about this flower that can take us and we can find who took William. But it turns out that the police had been given information that somebody was kind of selling those flowers in the area. And so they're like searching, like maybe this is the person that took William. Unfortunately, it's discovered that the plant had actually been thrown away by another neighbor, and that somebody in the neighborhood, one of the kids in the neighborhood, had pulled it out of the trash and they had all passed it around. A bunch of kids played with it. Somehow it had made its way to William and he had given it to his sister Jill. So after William being missing for this period of time, the dog that was missing is found, okay? The dog is found soaking wet, but safe, and no William. No articles of clothes of William, no nothing of William with the dog. So everybody continues to search for young William. It's cold. He's 3 years old. The neighbor saw him alone down the street. Everybody's searching. Well, through the course of the investigation, drew a blank. The police discovered that it had been trash day that day. And seeing as they have now learned that the little flower that Jill has was in the trash, they start searching all the trash bins because they're worried, okay, if the kids were digging in the trash that day and had pulled out this flower and trash collection was that day, is it possible that William could have climbed into a trash can and couldn't get out, climbed into a trash can and fell asleep? Somebody had done something to William and thrown his body into the trash can. Well, they did talk to all the people who worked that day, the trash collectors that had worked that day, and they all stated that no, they had not seen any little kid, and that had William been in the trash can, they would have seen his body when they dumped him, because mind you, at this time in New Jersey, it was not the little claw that comes and dumps your dumpster nowadays. They had actual workers who would pick the trash cans up and physically dump them into the back of the truck. So they all felt certain that had William been in one of those trash cans, they would have seen him. They would have seen something, and nobody saw him. Nobody saw him in a trash can. Nothing. So as time goes on and nobody's finding William's parents reach out to a psychic. And this psychic, This psychic tells them that William was abducted by a man whose wife had had a breakdown because she was completely distraught over the death of their own child, and that William had been taken by this man and given to this man's wife, and that they were living and raising William as their own in an Amish community, and that he was given a whole new life with this family. Well, of course, William's parents, they take this to the police and they, share with the police the information that the psychic gave them. And the police felt like that was not a likely, or what is the word I'm looking for? That was not plausible, because William, they felt, was old enough that he would have had some sort of memories of his family, and that it would be difficult for somebody to just take him and pass them off as their own, and just raise him as their kid. So they were like, no, they don't think that happened. So more time goes on, and William's poor parents go to another psychic. And this time, this psychic tells them that William was struck by somebody who did not intentionally hurt him, or mean to hurt him, but that he was struck and killed. Not exactly the news or information that anybody would want. But there again, the family shares this, and the police, are there again. I think they're thinking that this is probably not likely, because they had talked to all the workers that had worked with the trash company that day. All of them said, no, we didn't see anybody, no child dumped in a trash can, nothing. So nothing happens. There's nothing. They have no leads. Nobody has seen him. Nothing. Well, years and years later, they hypnotize Jill, his little sister. Now she's an adult, and they hypnotize her. And they're trying to get her to remember anything. And what Jill remembers is that she remembers her and William holding hands that day. She remembers that her and William made it to a part of the neighborhood where, from the description, I'm guessing maybe homeless hung out, because she says that they were holding hands and that they came to an oil drum with fire, and two men were fighting in front of this oil drum. Now, this would be about the area that she had originally told her mom that the boogeyman took William, but she doesn't recall if one of the men fighting was one of the men who took him, or who took him. There was just, that was it. That's all she remembers. She remembers holding hands with him. She remembers the men fighting in front of the oil drum. Somehow, and maybe in the scuffle, they got separated. She managed to make her way home, and poor young William didn't. William has a scar that looks like a giraffe from a vaccination on, let me look, I forget. Let me tell you. I will tell you. I think I will tell you. Where is it? Well, maybe I won't. I know they said he had a scar on one of his arms from a vaccination. And it looks like a giraffe. He was 3 years old. He had blue eyes, and they said big ears. Okay? These were his traits. William Ebenezer Jones Jr. has never been found. He disappeared in 1962 from New Jersey, wearing a snowsuit, playing with his younger sister and the two family dogs on a cold day. in December. Now I know that things were different back then. I do. But I wonder, and I know it's easy as a parent to get distracted and lose track of time, but it just makes me sad. This mom was inside trying to feed a younger baby, and she lets these little kids go outside, and William ends up missing. Now, even back then, even in that time frame, he was 3 and she was 2. I mean, it just seems like they were so little to be left outside alone to play for hours in the cold, because she said they were wearing their snowsuits. So, I mean, it had to be cold in New Jersey. And they're just little. And then I go, if I were a neighbor and I saw this 3-year-old little boy wandering by himself, and you obviously know where he lives because you told him, hey, you need to get back home, why not walk him there? Why not tell the mom, like, hey, I saw William and he's, over here in a sketchy area. I just feel like there were so many balls dropped in this story, and it makes me sad. Take a look at young William's pictures. And obviously he's not 3 anymore, but take a look at his pictures. There is an age progression picture. Take a look. Maybe he was abducted by a family. Maybe they did raise him as their own. Maybe he's alive somewhere with his own family, having no recollection of the life he had before, and not knowing that there were people who were his actual family that were looking for him, that missed him, that loved him. Take a look at these pictures. Maybe you know something. Maybe you heard something. Maybe you are someone who is William's age that lived in New Jersey at the time, and you can go, you know what? I remember seeing that kid. I remember him with the flower. Or I remember some man taking him. And what about the guy in the green car? Did the police ever even try to track that down? Who knows? And maybe back then they just weren't able to. Maybe they did try. I don't know. But William Ebenezer Jones Jr. has a right to make his way back to his family. Those who loved him, those who miss him. And maybe you know something, or maybe you saw something, or maybe you've seen him now that he's an adult. Maybe you know him now. Take a look. Be a crusader. Help people find their missing loved ones. And I will see you back here next week for another video. Have a blessed Sunday.